My billionaire parents finally found me. What they never expected was that I had become a fortune teller. They stood there staring at me in a daze. Then, the woman who claimed to be my mother gave a soft, mocking laugh, her eyes full of contempt. But I only glanced at her before speaking. Fortune telling is free. Want me to read your future? The woman's tears immediately began to fall. Child, I'm your mother. Come home with me. As I looked at the people standing before me, several words flashed through my mind. Black aura surrounding them. A short life ahead. I let out a quiet sigh and nodded. Fine. I packed away my compass and yellow talisman papers. But I need to go home first and collect my things. It's messy inside, so wait outside. Mother Zhuang insisted on following me in to take a look. The others had no choice but to follow as well. The four of them walked behind me into the alley leading to my filthy little home. Rats occasionally ran past us, and I could hear someone gagging behind me. Can a human being even live in a place like this? Yes, I replied calmly. I've lived here for more than 10 years. Zhuang Qingqing's expression changed instantly. I ignored her and kept walking until we reached a small broken door. I pushed it open. The room inside was simple. One table, one old electric fan, and almost nothing else. I pulled my clothes out of the cabinet. Zhuang Qingqing covered her nose in disgust. What is the point of taking these rags? When you get home, the family will buy you new clothes. I was about to respond when a large crowd suddenly entered the room and surrounded the Zhuang family. You must treat Bifan well. This child has suffered so much. You all look rich. Why did it take you so many years to find him? I heard there is also an adopted son in your family. Who knows how he will treat Bifan? Ever since I was little, these neighbors and my master had raised me. They were happy that I had found my biological family, but they were also reluctant to let me leave. Aunt Wang began stuffing things into my arms. These are clothes all of us bought for you. Don't wear those old things anymore. When you go to your new home, you need to wear new clothes. Soon, my arms were packed with bags of all sizes. The uncles and aunties helped carry my belongings to the car. I held my little yellow bag tightly and sat in the back seat. Zhuang Qingqing looked at it with disgust. You're not seriously bringing all those unlucky things home, are you? There is no space in the house for your weird fortune-telling junk. Mother Zhuang immediately smacked her. How can you speak to your brother like that? I looked up at them. Then I won't go back. Zhuang Qingqing froze. She clearly had not expected me to say that. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. It was her older sister, Zhuang Qingya, who finally spoke. Qingqing, apologize. Zhuang Qingqing reluctantly muttered, sorry. I had never even had adoptive parents. When traffickers nearly broke my arm so they could force me to beg for money, Master had crashed into them and snatched me back. I looked at the boy who had been quietly sucking in breaths beside them. Is this person also a child of the Zhuang family? The moment I asked, everyone's expressions changed. You just got home, and you already want to drive Brother Sunzi away? Zhuang Qingqing snapped. Even if you come back, we will never send Brother Sunzi away. Zhuang Qingya added. Sunzi has lived with us for so long. We have feelings for him too. We will treat you both as family, and I hope you will not target him. Zhuang Sunzi lowered his head with a guilty expression. I'm sorry, brother. I don't know what happened back then. If you do not want to see me, I can move out. My gaze passed over every face in front of me. I don't think I said anything. I only asked whether he was a child of the Zhuang family. Only then did they realize that their reaction had been far too intense. Mother Zhuang hurriedly tried to smooth things over. Sunzi is the child who was switched with you back then. Bifan, you are the older brother now. Sunzi is your younger brother. I nodded and said nothing more. Zhuang Sunzi's constant, shaky breathing irritated me, so I simply closed my eyes and rested. After the car bumped along for a while, we arrived at the Zhuang estate. When we got out, nobody helped me carry my luggage. The others walked into the house first, and only after they had gone inside did they realize they had left me behind. Mother Zhuang ran back out. Our eyes met. I walked past her and entered the house by myself. When they saw me walk in alone, their expressions became uncomfortable. Zhuang Qingya scolded the servants. Young master has just returned. Why did nobody help him with his luggage? Then she turned to me. Your room has been arranged. You will have to stay on the first floor for now. The three of you live upstairs? I asked. Zhuang Qingqing immediately frowned. You just got back and you are already eyeing the rooms on the second floor? Zhuang Sunzi quickly grabbed her arm. Qingqing, don't be rude. Brother, if you want it, I can give you my room upstairs. There is no need, I said. I do not want to stay in a place you have lived in. It would affect my spiritual fortune. After saying that, I ignored their reactions and went straight to my room. That night, one of the servants called me out for dinner. Everyone was already seated around the table. The woman sitting there was the mother who had switched me with him. If Master had not saved me, I would have died long ago. With all those emotions in my heart, I could not possibly smile at him. Zhuang Sunzi looked awkwardly at the bowl in front of him. His eyes slowly turned red. Zhuang Qingye looked at me. Bifan, Sunzi is calling you. I heard him. I just do not want to respond. Where are your manners? Zhuang Qingye scolded. Is this what your master and those people taught you all these years? You can criticize me, I said coldly, but you put me at the same table as the person who stole my life, and then you ask me about manners. The moment Zhuang Sunzi heard that, tears fell into his rice bowl. When Zhuang Qingqing saw him crying, she could no longer hold herself back. What kind of attitude is that? Brother Sunzi knew you were coming back, so he bought you many gifts. I looked at her. The one who was switched was not you. The one thrown into a trash can was not you. You have no idea how cold it is to wear only one thin piece of clothing in the dead of winter. When I was wandering outside, people tried to break my arm so they could make me into a crippled beggar. I rolled up my sleeve. Several obvious scars covered my arm. The spoon I had dropped into the bowl earlier had fallen because of the injury in that arm. Zhuang Qingye's expression changed slightly, but the apology she should have said never came out. Mother Zhuang was stunned. She had never imagined that I had suffered so badly outside. Even Father Zhuang could barely hide his pain. Bifan, he said, tomorrow let Qingye take you for a medical examination. There is no need. Master already had this arm checked. Other than moving, it cannot do much. Then I looked at Zhuang Qingye. So, sister, I am sorry. When I was young, I was busy trying to eat enough food and survive. Nobody taught me manners. People only taught me how to stay alive. I am not worthy of eating at the same table as all of you. I am full. Please continue. Zhuang Qingye lowered her eyes. It was my fault for misunderstanding you. I looked around the table. What if I say that this family can have me or him, but not both? Zhuang Qingqing clearly wanted to argue, but after remembering the scars on my arm, she forcibly swallowed her words. Mother Zhuang fell silent as well. Father Zhuang finally said with a serious expression, We raised Sunzi for more than 10 years. If we find our biological son and immediately send the adopted son away, what would outsiders think of the Zhuang family? If you insist that we choose one. Before he could finish, I turned around and left. The next morning, I woke up hungry. I had not expected that on my first day here, I would not even get one full meal. I changed into the new clothes Aunt Wang had bought me. They had a little cat printed on them. When I walked out, everyone in the family was already awake. From the moment I appeared, Zhuang Qingqing's shocked gaze never left my clothes. She tried to hold back a laugh. What are you even wearing? They are new, I replied. No patches. No one else has worn them. What is wrong with that? Zhuang Qingqing immediately stopped smiling. Perhaps remembering what I had gone through, she awkwardly picked up her phone instead. After breakfast, Mother Zhuang gave me 100,000 yuan and told me to buy some clothes. Maybe because of what happened earlier, Zhuang Qingqing actually offered to take me shopping. Zhuang Sunzi froze. Qingqing, weren't you supposed to come with me today to pick up the jewelry I ordered? Zhuang Qingqing hesitated. Her eyes moved between us before she finally walked to my side. Sorry, Brother Sunzi. Bifan just got here and he has no friends. You can ask one of your friends to go with you. Zhuang Qingqing went to get the car, leaving only Zhuang Sunzi and me standing at the entrance. He wore a watch that sparkled in the sunlight. Brother, he said, would you like to buy a watch too? Then he smiled faintly. Forget it. Some people are born unfit to enjoy a rich person's life. Don't you think? I only looked at him and did not answer. He grew uncomfortable under my stare, muttered, bad luck, and walked away. Zhuang Qingqing drove over. When she saw me still standing there, she seemed to remember something. To my surprise, she got out and opened the car door for me herself. I sat down and lifted my right hand. I still have one hand that works. Who cares? She snapped. I just do not want you scratching my car. The shopping mall was huge. At least I had never seen any place this big in all my life. I stood at the entrance and looked around for a little longer. Zhuang Qingqing pushed me impatiently. Stop staring. Hurry up. Halfway through our shopping trip, she left for a while and left me alone in the store. I picked out a few cheap clothes and paid for them. Then I went to a nearby shop and bought several large-sized men's and women's outfits for Aunt Wang and the others. After thinking about it, I used the remaining money to buy one gift for every member of the Zhuang family. I waited outside the mall until 2 in the afternoon. Zhuang Qingqing still had not returned. I went to a convenience store nearby and bought a 3 yuan loaf of bread to fill my stomach. I waited until 5 in the afternoon before I finally got a phone call. The number was unfamiliar, but I still answered it. It was Mother Zhuang. Bifan, Sunzi hurt his leg and is in the hospital. Take a taxi home by yourself. I gave a quiet response and hung up. The money left on my phone was not enough to take a taxi all the way back to the Zhuang estate, so I asked the driver to stop by the roadside and walked the rest of the way home. I was hungry, thirsty, and exhausted. By the time I got back, everyone was there. Even Father Zhuang, who was normally busy with work, had come home. When Zhuang Sunzi saw me, he gave me an embarrassed smile. Sorry, brother. Because of me, Qingqing could not pick you up. I told Mom and Dad not to come, but they insisted. Luckily, I only twisted my ankle. Otherwise, they would have been worried. You must be tired after walking all day, brother. Sit down and have some grapes. A servant took the bags from my hands and cried out in surprise. These are gifts for Sir and Madam, and for the young master and young miss too. Everyone seemed stunned. Mother Zhuang walked over, took the shopping bags, and began taking out the gifts one by one. Zhuang Sunzi's face darkened before he forced a smile. There probably is not anything for me, right? It is okay. It is natural for brother not to like me. Mother Zhuang took everything out. There were exactly 5 gifts. No more. No less. Zhuang Sunzi's smile froze. Mother Zhuang seemed to remember something and suddenly asked, Bifan, how did you get home? The servant cooking in the kitchen pointed at my foot. Young master's foot is bleeding. I looked down. My shoes had been soaked red with blood. Zhuang Qingqing immediately stood up to get the first aid kit. Zhuang Qingya helped me sit down and carefully tried to remove my shoe. But my sock had already stuck to the bloody flesh underneath, making it impossible to peel away. I ignored her. By myself, I ripped the sock off my skin. Zhuang Qingya frowned at the sight. Mother Zhuang gasped and covered her mouth. Blood dripped from my shoe, drop by drop. Before long, a small pool of blood formed on the floor. I grabbed some antiseptic and poured it directly over the wound. Then I took a bandage and wrapped it around my foot a few times. Because my left hand was weak, I wrapped the bandage messily. Mother Zhuang could not bear watching any longer. Call a doctor for Bifan. Stop wrapping it. Wait for the doctor. I finished wrapping it anyway. I did not look at any of them. There is no need. I am tired. Then I went back to my room. I was awakened by knocking on my door. From outside, I vaguely heard someone say, Did he pass out? Hurry up and kick the door open. I recognized Mother Zhuang's voice. I limped over and opened the door. Mother Zhuang stood outside with a doctor in a white coat behind her. Bifan, wake up and eat. Let the doctor look at your foot, too. The atmosphere in the living room was tense. By the time I arrived, the argument had not ended. Zhuang Sunzi's eyes were red. Father Zhuang had clearly scolded him harshly. For once, Zhuang Qingqing was not defending her brother. The moment she saw me, she stood up quickly, but she did not seem to know what to say. Are you okay? I did not answer her. I simply let the doctor treat and bandage my injury. After dinner, Zhuang Qingqing kept following me around. She shoved fruit into my hand one after another. After I ate my 4th banana, another peeled banana appeared beside me. I looked at Zhuang Qingqing. You should eat it yourself. But she still pushed the banana into my hand. I'm sorry about today. I did not mean to leave you at the mall. I went to the hospital to get medicine, and then Brother Sunzi suddenly called me. He said he was injured, but he would not tell me how serious it was. When I got to the hospital, I found out he had only twisted his ankle. Brother Sunzi insisted that I stay and take care of him. I could not leave him there alone. After saying that, she seemed to wait for my reaction. I will not forgive you, I said, but I do not blame you either. Her head lowered further and further. That phone call, you asked Aunt Zhuang to make it, did you not? She hesitated before nodding. He was the only person in that house who had asked for my phone number. A few days later, my foot had healed. Mother Zhuang transferred me more money and said she wanted to take me shopping herself. I shook my head. I want Zhuang Qingqing to take me. Zhuang Qingqing shot up from the sofa. I'll take Brother Bifan. She ignored Zhuang Sunzi's dark expression and ran straight for the garage. Zhuang Qingya spoke as well. Qingqing and I can go with you. She is young and unreliable. Zhuang Sunzi immediately said, Then who will take me for my follow-up examination today? My foot is still injured. Only then did Mother Zhuang remember her other son. Sunzi, Mother can accompany you. I do not want Mother. I want my older sister and younger sister to go with me. Only after saying that did he notice Mother Zhuang's face had already turned dark. Zhuang Qingya did not look happy either. I think your foot has already healed. There is no need for another examination. If you insist on going, then have the chauffeur take you. Zhuang Sunzi was so angry that tears fell from his eyes. But this time, no one comforted him. I rejected Mother Zhuang and Zhuang Qingya, allowing only Zhuang Qingqing to come with me. Inside the car, Zhuang Qingqing happily hummed a song. When we stopped at a red light, she took something out of her pocket and handed it to me. Here, brother, this is scar removal ointment. I specially went to the hospital to get it that day. It was made by an expert. It is a private formula, and it is expensive. Do you have money? I asked. Yes, she replied. If you need money, you can ask the family. I do not have much myself. Why? Did something happen? No. Then I looked at her. How much money do you have? Can you give me 200,000? Zhuang Qingqing froze for a moment. Then she immediately took out her phone, ready to transfer the money without hesitation. But I stopped her. I wiped at the writing on the ointment tube and asked, Zhuang Qingqing, when did you get your driver's license? 7 years and 3 months ago. This Saturday. Are you planning to go hiking with your friends? I already made plans, Zhuang Qingqing said. And I know all 4 of you are going. Then I looked at her calmly. Don't go. All right. This time she agreed unwillingly. I bought her a bracelet, and only then did she finally cheer up. When we returned home, she happily helped me organize all the things I had bought. Zhuang Sunzi walked over carrying a plate of sliced apples. Qing, you must be tired. Come, have some fruit. Zhuang Qingqing picked up a piece with a fork and put it in her mouth. Then she picked up another piece and handed it to me. Thank you, Brother Sunzi. But Sunzi did not leave. I noticed that his left index finger was wrapped in a small bandage, and I immediately understood what he was trying to do. Zhuang Qingqing, however, had not noticed anything yet. Sunzi put down the fruit plate and glared at me. I ignored him and continued eating my apple. Only then did Zhuang Sunzi notice the cheap bracelet on Zhuang Qingqing's wrist. He deliberately put on a puzzled expression. Where did you buy such a cheap bracelet? You are actually wearing it? Aren't you afraid it will dirty your wrist? The bracelet really was cheap. When I bought it for Zhuang Qingqing, I did not tell her its price, and she had never asked. She had put it on her wrist without any hesitation, right beside her expensive watch. Zhuang Sunzi grabbed her hand. Be careful. You might scratch the watch I gave you. As he spoke, he reached out to remove the bracelet. Zhuang Qingqing immediately pulled her hand away. Brother Bifan gave this to me. It cannot be cheap. Is that so? Sunzi asked. It really was not expensive, I said calmly. Just a few hundred yen. Even if it costs only a few hundred yuan, I will still wear it, Zhuang Qingqing replied firmly. Brother Sunzi, do not worry. Brother Bifan would never harm me. Zhuang Sunzi glared at me, his eyes filled with resentment, as though I had stolen his little sister. But she had always been my little sister. At dinner, Zhuang Sunzi brought up Zhuang Qingqing's hiking trip that Saturday. Qingqing, can you take me with you? There will be 4 of you anyway, so one more person will not make a difference. I knew exactly what he was doing. He saw that Zhuang Qingqing and I had become closer, so he wanted to force his way between us. Then take Bifan along too, someone suggested. There is no space, I said. I am not going. Zhuang Qingqing immediately agreed. Right, I have something else to do this Saturday. I am not hiking anymore. Then she looked at Zhuang Sunzi. If you want to go, I can tell them to take you instead. Zhuang Sunzi froze. His lips pulled into a forced smile as he looked at me. Why are you not going? Didn't you plan this last week? I just do not feel like going anymore, Zhuang Qingqing replied. Then Sunzi smirked. Could it be that Brother Bifan used his fortune-telling tricks and predicted some bad omen? Father Zhuang suddenly slammed his chopsticks onto the table. Is that true, Bifan? From now on, do not bring those superstitious things into this house. None of us believe in that nonsense. Then he turned to Zhuang Qingqing. Qingqing, if you want to hike on Saturday, then go. Do not believe in bad omens and unlucky predictions. Fine, Zhuang Qingqing said. But you misunderstand Brother Bifan. He did not tell me anything like that. I did, I said. Everyone looked at me. This Saturday, if Zhuang Qingqing leaves the house, she will face a bloody disaster. Father Zhuang's face darkened. If you say another word of this nonsense, get out of my house. Zhuang Sunzi moved closer to Mother Zhuang, but his eyes stayed fixed on me. There was a look of complete confidence in them, as if he had already won. In that tense atmosphere, I spoke calmly. Is it because of the 5-year-old little sister who died? Father Zhuang's face turned livid. He grabbed a plate and hurled it toward me. Since you know about that, why are you still giving Qingqing these cursed predictions? It was people like you who killed Lin. Bifan, Zhuang Qingya said, shooting me a warning look. Please throw all those things away. She was telling me to go back to my room and get rid of my fortune-telling tools immediately. But I did not move. Zhuang Sunzi grew angry. You know what these things did to this family, and you still dare pretend to be some mystical master and deceive Qingqing? I never told Brother Bifan about any of this, Zhuang Qingqing said quietly. Since no one in the family had told me, they naturally assumed Zhuang Qingqing must have revealed it to me. But I continued. About 1 month before your little sister died, Zhuang Sunzi had a severe fever, correct? Even the hospital could not cure it. That was when you hired a Taoist priest. Not long after the priest came, your little sister also developed a high fever and died. Zhuang Sunzi's face changed dramatically. Mother Zhuang's eyes widened in shock. The Zhuang family had indeed had a little daughter who died many years ago. Many people knew that much, but the details were different. No one outside the family knew that Sunzi had been sick or that they had hired a Taoist priest. "How do you know that?" someone asked. "I can only say this much," I replied. "As for Zhuang Qingqing, if she wants to go hiking, then let her go. I will not interfere anymore." The dinner ended on terrible terms. Father Zhuang believed that everything I had said was either something someone else had told me or something I had guessed. But no matter what he said, he could not deceive himself. If I had merely guessed about the dead daughter, perhaps it could be explained. But I had also known about Zhuang Xunzi's fever and the Taoist priest. That was not a guess. Over the next few days, my words left the entire family restless and uneasy. I stayed home and went nowhere. Zhuang Qingqing often tried to come talk to me, but Zhuang Xunzi always dragged her away. "He only says unlucky things," he would tell her. "Stay away from him." Even Mother Zhuang treated me as if I were invisible. I knew I had touched the Zhuang family's deepest wound, so I took the initiative and said I would move out for a few days. Mother Zhuang looked like she wanted to say something, but Zhuang Qingya spoke first. "Bifan, that is not what we mean." "I know," I replied, "but a client asked me to help get rid of a disaster. It is inconvenient for me to work here." Father Zhuang became furious the moment he heard me mention fortune-telling again. "Get out tomorrow. Do not come back until you throw away all that superstitious garbage." I packed only a few clothes, because before long they would come and invite me back themselves. Before I left, Zhuang Qingqing handed me a bank card. "Brother Bifan, just apologize to Mom and Dad. They care about you. Then you will not have to leave." "I have never called them Mom or Dad," I said. Only then did Zhuang Qingqing realize that after all these days, I had never once called them father or mother. She tried to grab me, but Father Zhuang shouted from upstairs, "Let him go. Do not stop him. Let us see whether he is any better than Sunzi." I looked back at them. On the first day I came here, I asked one question. If you had to choose one person to stay, who would you choose? This is your answer, isn't it? Father Zhuang snorted coldly and returned to his room. Before I left, Zhuang Xunzi gave me a provoking smile. "Brother, I hope you throw away those things soon and come back home. I heard you have never been to school. Later I will ask Father to send you to school as long as you are willing to return. Your younger brother will always be here waiting for you." I walked away without looking back. Zhuang Xunzi's words went in one ear and out the other. I only hoped that Zhuang Qingqing would listen to me and not go hiking that day. Zhuang Qingya drove me to a hotel and gave me another bank card. I pushed it back. "No need. You can give me this money later." Zhuang Qingya did not understand what I meant, but she forced the card into my hand anyway. I looked at her and said something completely out of nowhere. "When you were 18, you were injured too, weren't you?" Zhuang Qingya spun around, about to ask how I knew, but I had already entered the elevator. The bell on my keychain jingled softly. The next few days at the hotel were not peaceful. Zhuang Qingya probably told the others where I was staying as soon as she got home, so I did not get much rest. Zhuang Qingqing also kept messaging me, but I never replied. Then, that morning, I finally sent her a message first. "Do not go hiking." I turned on the television. But I was already too late. The news was reporting a major traffic accident. A runaway truck crashed directly into an SUV today. The accident caused 2 deaths and 4 injuries. I calculated the number with my fingers. 1 responsible driver, 5 victims. Zhuang Qingqing had gone anyway. Mother Zhuang called me. "Bifan, hurry to the hospital. Qingqing is hurt." When I arrived at the hospital, Zhuang Xunzi immediately began cursing at me. Then Mother Zhuang came out of the hospital room. Zhuang Xunzi hurriedly grabbed her hand. "Mom, is Qingqing all right?" Mother Zhuang shook her head, then looked at me with a complicated expression. Zhuang Qingya noticed that the atmosphere between us was strange and asked anxiously, "Mom, how is Qingqing?" Mother Zhuang stepped aside so we could enter. "She is fine. She only twisted her ankle." Inside the hospital room, Zhuang Qingqing had one leg suspended and was grinning foolishly at us. Zhuang Xunzi blurted out, "How did you only injure your leg? Why were you not the one who died?" Zhuang Qingqing's smile vanished. Only then did Zhuang Xunzi realize what he had said. "I did not mean it that way." "Get out!" Father Zhuang roared. "You told her to go up that mountain and get something, didn't you? If it were not for you, how would Qingqing have gotten hurt?" "I did not know there would be a car accident," Zhuang Xunzi protested. "I only wanted Qingqing to go to the mountain and ask for a bracelet that would keep you safe. I heard there was a very famous master on that mountain. I wanted to give it to you for your birthday." "Dad, Qingqing is fine," Zhuang Qingya said, "and Sunzi did it for you." Father Zhuang's expression finally softened slightly. Sunzi, he said, that master already left. Did you not know? What? You are lying. How would I know that? The master announced that he was leaving a week ago. It even trended online. Do you not look at your phone? I... Zhuang Sunzi could not explain himself. He looked toward Zhuang Qingya. Her expression was unpleasant, but she still tried to defend him. Maybe Sunzi did not see it. Either way, it was his intention that mattered. Zhuang Sunzi looked at me with red eyes. Brother Bifan, I am sorry. I should not have made Qingqing go out. If I had listened to you, she would not have faced this bloody disaster today. The moment Father Zhuang heard the phrase, bloody disaster, he remembered the ominous words I had said days ago. Who called him here? He demanded. I did, Zhuang Qingqing said. I called Brother Bifan. Father Zhuang saw that Zhuang Qingqing had called me herself, so he could not lash out. His eyes were filled only with concern for his daughter. Qingqing, why did you call Bifan here? Zhuang Qingqing took something from her pocket and opened her hand. Several broken beads lay in her palm. The entire hospital room turned to look at me. The beads broke, so they blocked the disaster, I explained. But this morning I clearly messaged you and told you not to go hiking. If you had not gone, you would not even have injured your leg. What message? Zhuang Qingqing asked in confusion. I did not receive any message. Since Qingqing is fine, let us stop asking questions, Zhuang Qingya said. Let her rest properly. Then she looked at Zhuang Sunzi. Aren't you usually the one most concerned about Qingqing? Zhuang Qingqing unlocked her phone. The screen was slightly cracked, but it still worked. I took it from her and opened our chat. There, in plain sight, was the message I had sent. Do not go hiking. Zhuang Qingqing gave a quiet sound of realization. I did not turn around. Then she looked toward Zhuang Sunzi. Brother Sunzi, help me check my phone. Sunzi immediately panicked. It wasn't me. I wasn't the one who said to go hiking. I didn't see the message he sent. It wasn't me. He had exposed himself without anyone even accusing him. There were no fools in the Zhuang family. The way Zhuang Sunzi reacted made it obvious that he had been behind it. Why would you do this? Zhuang Qingqing asked, her voice filled with pain. Qingqing is your sister. I didn't, Zhuang Sunzi stammered. Then he clutched his head and suddenly pointed at me. It was him. He hurt Qingqing. If he had said that before, they might have believed him. But this time, I was the one who had saved Zhuang Qingqing. Disappointment filled Zhuang Qingqing's eyes. Zhuang Sunzi was the older brother she had protected and trusted since childhood. A few days later, Zhuang Qingqing was discharged from the hospital. During those days, Zhuang Sunzi kept trying to please Father Zhuang, Mother Zhuang, and both sisters. I understood it clearly. Their bond with Zhuang Sunzi had lasted for more than 10 years. A twisted ankle alone would never make the Zhuang family throw him out. But he had a life to repay. If he did not want to leave the Zhuang family, then he could stay somewhere else. Somewhere behind locked doors. Zhuang Qingqing walked in using crutches. Zhuang Sunzi moved to support her, but she slowly pulled her arm away from him and sat down beside me instead. Zhuang Sunzi's eyes turned red. Qingqing, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Mother Zhuang's feelings had also become complicated recently. After all, Zhuang Sunzi was still the son she had raised for more than 10 years. She did not want the younger generation of the family to become enemies. Qingqing, she said gently, your brother is talking to you. Zhuang Qingqing gave a quiet response while rubbing the beads in her hand. I recognized them immediately. They were from the bracelet I had given her, but several beads were missing now, so she could no longer wear it. Thinking she simply liked bracelets, Zhuang Sunzi forced a smile. If you like that kind of thing, I can buy you a more expensive one in a few days. How about it? No need. I pulled out a new bracelet from my pocket. This one is for you. 50,000 yuan. Zhuang Qingqing brightened up and was about to transfer the money immediately. Seeing her attitude change so quickly, Zhuang Sunzi clenched his hand and frowned. Brother Bifan, we are family. Are you really going to charge Qingqing for a bracelet? It protects her safety, I replied. Do you want one too? Zhuang Sunzi's expression shifted, but he did not say whether he wanted one or not. Father Zhuang still disliked seeing me do this kind of thing in the house. He cleared his throat heavily, but Zhuang Qingya walked over and asked, Can you give me one too? I nodded and held out my hand. 100,000. She blinked. Why do I have to pay 50,000 more? Did you forget? I asked. I already saved you once when you were 18. Father Zhuang looked shocked. Mother Zhuang also froze. Zhuang Qingya's memories seemed to be dragged back 7 years. That year, she had just turned 18 and was proud, willful, and fearless. She had planned to fly abroad to watch a football match, but that day, everything went wrong. After she returned home, she found an unfamiliar peach pit in her pocket. Soon after that, she saw the news. The plane she had intended to board had crashed. That peach pit, Zhuang Qingya whispered. I picked up the newspaper Father Zhuang had put down. Have you found the person responsible for the missing money yet? If construction on that property does not begin soon, the workers will riot. Father Zhuang stared at me. For the first time, I saw such a complicated expression on his face. The person responsible for the missing funds had just told him that workers were beginning to strike. He had not told anyone else about it yet. Mom, I said. It was the first time I had ever called Mother Zhuang that. It took her a long time to react. Then she softly answered, Yes. I gave her a faint smile. My little sister told me to call you that. Once again, I brought up the family's forbidden subject. Zhuang Xunzi immediately tried to rush at me, but Zhuang Qingqing stopped him. His face was twisted with rage. You keep bringing this up just to make Mom and Dad sad. Dad, Mom, Bifan is pretending to be some mystical master again. This time everyone was shaken. Even Zhuang Qingya, who had always defended him, could no longer keep calm. What do you mean? She asked. What do you mean Linlin told you to call her that? I knew that besides Zhuang Xunzi, every member of the family had deeply loved their youngest child. That was why Linlin's death was a wound the entire family carried. Good, I said. Everyone is here. After saying that, I returned to my room. I unfolded a yellow cloth and spread it across the table. Then I took out the tools inside, along with a small bell. Mother Zhuang saw the bell and went pale. That is Linlin's longevity lock. Where did you get it? It was not an ordinary longevity lock. Complicated patterns had been carved into it, proving how much they had treasured their little daughter. I did not answer. Instead, I pointed toward Zhuang Xunzi's room. Behind Zhuang Xunzi's room, there is a tree, correct? Please find a shovel and dig beneath it. It is not buried very deep. You should find it quickly. Mom! Dad! You really believe him? Zhuang Xunzi cried. All this supernatural nonsense is what killed Linlin. Who knows who he will hurt this time? Zhuang Qingqing stood up. I believe Brother Bifan. If it had not been for him, I would have died a few days ago. Mother Zhuang struggled with what to do. Father Zhuang only stood there with a deeply furrowed brow, saying nothing. I will not harm you, I told them. In the end, they dug up the tree. Zhuang Xunzi stood beside them crying and begging them not to dig. Then he turned and pleaded with Father Zhuang and Mother Zhuang. When that did not work, he grabbed my collar tightly. People like you killed my sister years ago, he shouted. Who are you trying to harm this time? My father, my mother, or my sisters? Who do you want to kill the most? Dad, Sunzi, calm down, someone shouted. Then one of the servants let out a cry. From the dirt, she had pulled out a piece of red cloth. She carefully unfolded it. Inside was a longevity lock. One bell was missing from it. Mother Zhuang's body went limp, and she collapsed to her knees. How can it be here? I personally put that on Linlin. She was buried wearing it. I wanted her to remain safe in the next life. She looked at me through tears. Bifan, what is going on? Why was Linlin's longevity lock buried beneath this tree? Zhuang Qingya and Zhuang Qingqing stepped closer. They both recognized it. This was not something that could be copied. Only Zhuang Xunzi remained standing where he was, whispering under his breath. That is impossible. I looked at them all. What I am about to say may completely overturn everything you believe. Whether you choose to believe me or not is up to you. Zhuang Xunzi and I were not switched by accident. You know Zhuang Xunzi's biological mother, too. Her surname is Jiang. Mother Zhuang almost immediately remembered her. She was the maid who worked for our family many years ago, she said. But she had sticky fingers. She stole one of my... She stopped. I continued. She stole the longevity lock. Zhuang Xunzi's fate clashes with Linlin's. Linlin suffered from a high fever for days. She cried for help for days. But have you not noticed that after you began raising Zhuang Xunzi, the Zhuang family's business kept declining? And when Zhuang Qingya and Zhuang Qingqing were children, did they not get injured constantly too? The son you raised with all your love is the source of all of it. Zhuang Xunzi screamed and tried to slap me. You are lying. But Mother Zhuang was faster. She slapped him so hard that he fell to the ground. How could you hurt your little sister? She screamed. She treated you so well. I curse you. I curse you to die a terrible death. Enough, Father Zhuang roared. Drag him out and send him to a mental hospital. Only then did Zhuang Xunzi truly panic. To him, a mental hospital was even more terrifying than prison. He fell to his knees and began begging desperately. Please do not send me away. Am I not your son too? Linlin is dead, but you still have me. I will always be your son. You still have the nerve to say that, Mother Zhuang cried. If it were not for you, no one could have imagined that the son they had raised wholeheartedly with love had been responsible for the death of their other child. In the end, Zhuang Sunzi was sent to a mental hospital. Mother Zhuang came to me crying, "Bifan, can you let me see Linlin one more time?" "No," I answered quietly. "You cannot." Mother Zhuang broke down in tears. Father Zhuang walked over and handed me a bank card. His voice was hoarse. "I heard that fortune tellers must be paid after a reading. There is 1,000,000 yuan in this card." I pushed it back. Then I shook the tiny bell in my hand. Someone has already paid me. The family seemed to lose all strength. One after another, they stood there silently crying. That night, our real family finally sat down together for our first proper meal. Father Zhuang wanted to arrange for me to go to school. I shook my head. No need. He did not force me. He only told me that, starting today, I was the Zhuang family's only son. I said nothing. At last, I gave each of them a bracelet. They are not worth much, but they will keep you safe. Instead, I said, I asked you this question twice. If you had to choose one person between me and Zhuang Sunzi to remain here, who would you choose? There are no perfect endings in this world. I'm leaving. I heard Mother Zhuang crying out my name. I heard Zhuang Qingqing sobbing as she called me brother, but I still did not turn back. Maybe Aunt Wang had been right. The Zhuang family was so powerful. Why had it taken them so many years to find me? When they saw me reading fortunes on the street, had they found me embarrassing? Had they thought I brought bad luck? I threw those thoughts aside and stepped through the gates of the Zhuang estate. Then I remembered something. Master had once said he wanted to teach me a new formation. I had not learned it yet.